getting a phone call. Hold on.
You just sort of fired this off. You didn't even check it.
It's been a busy day.
Yeah,
it's been a busy day. No, it should be good now. We're on the FaceTime camera. 1, 2, 3, and boom. Let's go ahead and move this over a little bit here, huh? Burp. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuesday. It is a hectic day. Camille's out of town.
Leave tomorrow.
All 3 kids leave tomorrow. Got here on Sunday, and I feel like a puddle of mush right now from being in Utah. I don't know if it was the dry air, the altitude, or the 100 times I got shot in the back of the head from Trent Nita that really did it.
Pretty crummy. It was
pretty crummy. I've been feeling crummy since the black. Well, not the black eye, but my shoulder. I can't sleep on my right side.
Yeah.
So it's already kind of like uncomfortable. So I have to sleep on my left side always.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I got the black eye, and I couldn't sleep on my left side because my eye hurt. And I'm not a back sleeper, because then I start to snore a little bit, and then Camille just hits me. And then when I come home from these events, I'm full dad duty in the middle of the night. So when they wake up at like 3 in the morning, and then when they wake up at 5, Parker was up at 5:45 this morning.
Yeah.
And he did not want to go back to sleep. And then I got shot so many times in the side of my head and the side of my leg. Wait until you see my leg.
Should I shut this a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit. Kind of that old-fashioned way. It's hard to sleep on my left side, and it's hard to sleep on my back because I also got bonus ball in the back of the head. But yeah, it was brutal. Welcome to another wonderful, fun week ahead. We've got the NXL layout, and we're gonna break down the Utah event at Vendetta Paintball.
I did watch webcast. Wasn't at the very.
Thankfully, there's
a good YouTube video.
There's a good YouTube video. Oh yeah, I
watched that.
Oh, that's actually a funny story too. Thankfully, that someone else's live stream is lower quality than ours.
Yeah,
that's a nice little boost right there. But I do want to talk about that a little bit too. We've got a great guest. We need to send our guest the link.
I can do it.
Okay, cool. I'll get that up and running here in a second. Also, let's see here. What else do we have for you guys? We've got some interesting cheating ideas here that I think we're gonna run by our new guest, and I think Kyle might have cracked the code for cheating.
Yeah. See, that's why I just wait for ideas. That's what I don't
dude,
say
that was that. This is your best. One of the best. That's a top 5 idea of the year.
Yeah.
2025. So Kyle's gonna share that one today. I think I'm actually really on board with it. Also, speaking of photographers. Dude, HK Army, we've had HD streaming the entire time. You guys just have bootleg ass internet up there at the HK Army office. I know that Brandon Ford hasn't paid the bill forever. He for sure doesn't upgrade the internet. So you guys just have bootleg. We're straight. We're streaming I got a 4K camera right here, guys. 4K.
It looks good.
But I do put the thing on. Oh, we gotta turn this light off.
Yeah.
Just
thinking that.
Oh, now how about now? And that might have actually kind of, yeah. And Chris, I wish I were surfing. I wish I were surfing, but unfortunately, and it's actually bittersweet. Scott and all the guys landed on the day that I played the match. Or no, sorry, they landed on Sunday, and they were surfing Sunday all day Monday. Today was day 2. This is Get Scott Barreled, Operation Get Scott Barreled 2025, a $10,000 trip to Indonesia to try to get barreled. Day 2, and he's been clamped on. We're gonna share one of the videos actually because I've got one. But we're all gonna be rooting. We're gonna put a GoFundMe together to see if we can get Scott barreled. We're gonna have to. Oh, here we go. He just texted me. Don't worry, treasures is now 3 to 4 foot. I wake up to the boat going to Candyland for hammering lefts today. Speak of the devil, Scott Kemp just texted me. I'm gonna send up a video here of the poor guy. He almost had it. Did you see the video?
I think I did on his story.
That big. Yeah. It's posted on his story. So the whole boat's out there. They're in the middle of Indonesia.
So he has internet this time.
They've got Starlink. Yeah. So I could have gone out there. I could have done the show from out there. Maybe
on your board, just laptop on the.
Well, no, they're just waking up right now.
Oh, dang.
Literally, like he literally just randomly texted me just now. At 4:05 p.m.
I gotta send this to Joe.
Okay.
On his email.
So, yeah, and then we're going to be in San Antonio this weekend at X Factor Paintball Park. Heard the weather's nice and cooking, toasty. So, for any of you guys out there who want to come and watch a fun practice, it's us, the Tauntauns, and X Factor. And I want to take Les Tontons. We're gonna have them start with 6 guys every time, so we can get a really good practice against them. Keep it normal and light like the events. So.
We should maybe, after we have Joe on here a little bit, we should get Alex.
Okay. Yeah.
And then so you can yell at him for not coming.
Yeah, absorbing some of the shots there. So yeah, Mr. Kemp, they all got food poisoning at the last one. Actually, Scott and I did not get food poisoning. Everybody else did, which was nice because then we got to surf this spot pretty much all to ourselves. So anyway, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all of our show sponsors and supporters, Pate Smith and Pate Smith Law, doing all the insurance claims, dealing especially with severe weather. If you guys have car wrecks, any of that stuff. Pate also sponsors Move of the event and Move of the prelims, which we're trying to announce today. We're just waiting on some final details, so we'll try to announce that we're going to announce it next week. We also want to make sure we can get the proper clips.
Yeah.
But I want a big thank you to Pate Smith and Pate Smith Law for supporting the show and supporting paintball, as a non-endemic sponsor.
I just shipped Alec Holland a bunch of stuff for his World Cup one, a bunch of Tiger stuff. Put like a little gift pack together for him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. From Uprising, I think.
That's right, because you guys also sponsor. You're a co-sponsor of it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We did the World Cup one.
Okay. So we are so back. And then Arfon and Gen X Global making objectively the best pods in the game. You guys can pre-order your pods for the NXL Ohio Open. This is going to be a fun event. For those of you guys who are local to the Ohio area, you're playing an NXL for the first time, don't have bootleg gear and mismatched crap. You want to make sure that you guys are as dialed in as possible and don't take mismatched pods for granted. Make sure you guys hit up Gen X. They got specials and sales all the time. Arfon goes out there. He literally carries like I think it's Atlas with the world on his shoulder. He carries all of the boxes of pods out there for the entire event on his shoulders, so that you guys can have clean freshies for the event, so that we can have clean freshies for the event. So big shout out and thank you to Arfon and everybody over at Gen X Global. Also, they're doing a little special for Father's Day.
For white pods?
They're also doing the white pods. Yeah, the white pods are free, I think. So we got the 6-pack of pods, and if you order one of these 6 packs of pods, you get a koozie that says number 1 dad on it. Yeah, they sent me 2. So yeah.
Yeah, I need one of those.
Yeah. You want a 6-pack of pods or the number 1 dad?
Number 1 dad.
You don't get one yet, unless you take one of those kids home with you. So, yeah, they're crushing it. Their social media game is doing really well. I love what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, they're crushing it.
And then we got Junior and Gina sponsoring Question of the Day and supplying everybody with all of the best paintball gear that you could possibly need at bfpgear.com. I don't really buy any paintball gear, but if I were actually going to buy anything, that is exactly where I'd shop. I know Kyle would too. So make sure you guys support our supporters and our sponsors by clicking down one of the links down below. Going to bfpgear.com. You get a little fender bender or your roof flies off in a tornado, call Pate Smith. And if your lids break off of your pods, get a hold of Gen X and get some new lids. And then if you are a little tired like I am, let's pop one of these things open.
Mr. Kev, Boat Squad, you bet. Enjoy the jersey.
Yeah. Dude, Mr. Kev was out there. Yeah, and big shout out to everybody in Utah. That's what we're getting to next.
There's a lot of people out there watching.
Dude, it was sick, actually. The live aspect of it was absolutely fantastic. The live element of it. I give the live setting that the guys got to watch. Like, if you were there live watching that and you paid $70 for the ticket or $50 for the ticket or whatever the ticket price was, it was absolutely worth it. I don't think anybody... what's that?
Chosen.
Okay, cool. I don't think anybody who bought a ticket was not thoroughly entertained. He had fantastic food vendors there. I don't know that it would have been able to support the 300-person deal like he expected. But he'd planned, I mean. But dude, it was pretty cool from a live viewer standpoint.
Grayson asked who was player of the day.
I don't know. Oh, out at the event?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think we didn't vote one. we were just.
Who would you say? Are you voting for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got shot the most. Dude, we're gonna talk about that in a second. I mean, I got one of the videos. Ben Camp had one hit on him, one welt on his back.
Really?
So we played every other point, right? Or like most of us
Zoom?
did. Some guys. Oh yeah, sorry. I am getting.
Joe's getting antsy.
I'm gonna get him. All right, let's go over to the Nectar projector here. Let me set him up here. We're gonna get into all that. Also, speaking of Nectar, dude, these guys rock. If you guys haven't won anything on the show yet and gotten a Nectar, go click the link down below and get some of these things. They're non-nicotine nootropic pouches. They give you a nice boost of energy.
And these new flavors are available now or not yet?
I don't know, but if they are, get them.
Definitely go with these.
That is insane. Yeah.
New flavors.
So let's get Joe on here in a second. I'm gonna go to speaking of Nectar, the Nectar projector. Link is down below. Oh, he's ready. All right, hang tight here, Joe. I'm gonna get you in 1 second. Here, we're just priming you up. Didn't have a lot of time to prep for this episode because, again, I had all of the children. All of the children. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. Booyah. Zoom. There he is.
Meter's in here. I just was watching some of his Shelda podcast he just did.
Oh, yeah. How was it?
Pretty good. I'm only like first 10 minutes in.
Anybody watch the PTG 300? They made it. They did it. They're reconciled.
Yeah.
Look, the world's still spinning, everybody. All right, Joe, mic check.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Let me see. Where is it? Talk again.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I think you're crispy. Can you guys hear him? Is he crispy?
It should be crispy. I'm using a $13 microphone from Walmart.
That microphone's only $13? No.
Something like that.
We have the same one. They're like $90.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I got the same one. If you got yours for $13, you are Harrison.
It does look
got it for you.
Kind of similar.
It's very similar.
It has the same button, little toggles on it.
I think so. But you sound crispy. Oh no, the boys are crying. So Kyle's girlfriend is watching the kids right now. She reluctantly agreed. She's like, I could do it.
Yeah.
This is like the hardest time to watch them.
I was like, we got to get over there so like you can get all the 411. And she's like, I know how to take care of kids. And I was like, that would be like a nightmare for me.
Yeah.
2 hours. I'd be freaking out.
So Joe, let's break it down.
You have the comments up too, right, Joe?
I don't, and from what I can see, I just see a Dynasty established 2001 logo.
Oh,
because Ryan
sorry.
didn't turn his camera on.
I didn't
Come on, Ryan.
Sorry, Kyle.
Yeah, I felt like I was just sitting in the darkness.
Sitting in the waiting room. No, you're live, dude.
Are you on your computer or your phone?
I am on my computer, tuning in 720p HD.
Dude, you look good. You look crisp.
Well, we do offer, I think, 1080 just in case if you want to turn it on up higher. But also, if you want to on your phone, if you pull up YouTube on your phone, you could see the comments. I mean, you could also do it on just open up another tab on your computer and then just mute it if you want to just see the comments as
people are talking shit.
People are talking shit.
You can make sure you can roll on
about
everybody.
my 720p.
Yeah, and hit that like button when you get onto YouTube.
That's right. Nice plug.
I have subscribed and liked, of course.
Chris Hotel.
Oh.
Okay, let me turn off the volume.
Yeah, we just kind of started to do the slow ramp into the Utah event, the good, the bad, the ugly. There was a lot of ugly, a lot of bad. Some good. I think a lot of good. I think it was actually a really great overall for a lot of reasons. And there were certainly some hiccups, as to be expected with your first event. And I do want to preface this whole thing with, I think what Seth did with what he had was pretty amazing. Could it have been better? Absolutely. But it was very difficult for what he did in the venue, right? And the venue being Utah only has maybe 60 or 70 tournament players. And I do want to point out that they weren't like, not all of them showed up, you know, like there were people out there that could have come to watch and that didn't, that chose not to. I also, I'll say straight up, shout out to Pro Peptides and NW Films for paying the $75 because that clip of me and A-Rod was well worth $75. So everybody else who whinged about the price, I understand. $75 is a lot. I think the NXL is $250 minimum or $60,000
For what?
to get a photography pass. I think it's $250 to get on the divisional field if you want to be a photographer.
Oh, you had to pay to get a.
If you want to, oh yeah, that's not free. And if you want to get on the pro field, you have to know somebody or have a $60,000 platinum sponsor thing.
That's a little steep.
That's pretty steep. That's pretty steep. The $60K. So $75 didn't really move the needle for Seth much. I believe that he probably could have just been like, "Hey, come out or play," or $50 or $25. But I guarantee you that one clip was worth $75 for anybody. Yeah. Junior's like, I would have paid double that, 10 times that, just for that one clip. So, photographers, you know, just think about it. Think about it. Anyway, Joe, what do you think? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it very real. Obviously, there were things that could have been better, but, you know, it kind of drives me crazy that a lot of people pretty much just shit on it. You know, a lot of commenters, random media things, just kind of always, you know, willing to smack talk. And, you know, the keeping it real part, sure, things could have been done better. You know, like I was frustrated that the air situation wasn't great for a tournament. I mean, it is what it is, right? But beyond all the random shit that can happen, I always look at it like a lot of prototypes suck or aren't as good as they could be, right? The first version of blank thing oftentimes is not that good. I'm happy the guy tried it. You know, if it only gets better from here, then that makes me happy because at least someone tried, whereas everybody else was either afraid to try or they're a perfectionist, so then they just don't do. There's like that, you know, almost disorder where people are unwilling to put the first version out because it's trying to become perfect. He probably learned a lot from this. It's probably going to become a lot better next time. And I think there's a lot of people out there that wanted, you know, specifically two different things, like a one-off 7-man event and a one-off X-ball event or like an exhibition match. And the good far outweighed the bad. And why I say that is because I try to take myself and our team out of it and look at it objectively. And the number one thing I heard was from the fans who were there in the VIP areas, which were basically 3 feet from the side of our pit. And all of their like comments were, that was amazing. I couldn't believe it. It felt like I was right there in the pits with Dynasty or right there in the pits with Aftershock. That was such a cool thing. That was the coolest match I've seen in my life, et cetera, et cetera. So it kind of accomplished a lot of what it wanted, right? Like it tested out, like, will people come and pay money as an entertainment? Almost like you go to a baseball game. Baseball is terrible. Baseball is awful. But we go and pay money and eat overpriced hot dogs and beer in the stands because you're there to see a thing, right? It's a reason to get out of the house. And this kind of janky first version of an X-ball match being sold came out good enough that the people there didn't really care about what it lacked. They were happy and excited.
Mm. Yeah, I think that was very well said. And, you know, one of the things was it wasn't supposed to have a live video element to it. It was supposed to be post-production. But the people who were going to film it and produce it backed out like a few weeks prior. So he like scrambled to get something to basically set up, and we were tossing around ideas. We wanted to try to, we asked Mike Hinman if we could get Ryan Polito to come out, and we were trying to scramble to try to get something. And one of the guys was like, one of his players was like, hey, I do some video work. Like, I'll buy a bunch of equipment, spend his own money to buy equipment. And it was him and his son running the entire thing.
Damn.
Yeah. And he bought a Starlink. I think he said he did 870 gigabytes upload for the day. And so the guy running, it wasn't like a Go Sports thing. It was a 2-man crew. And those kids were both running, they were both on the field running the cameras. And he just had a mic on his head and was like, wait a minute, I don't think there's audio coming on. And that was after the first half. So there was a lot that was a problem. That well, not a problem. That obviously everybody experienced a problem. It was $5. You know, you could go back and be like, eat shit, give me my $5 back, or you could kind of eat it, because I'm sure that everybody who spent $5 on this has spent $5 on worse shit. You know. But at the end of the day, it does show support for everything. And then he provided the link. It's all, you can get it post-production. Yeah. We also tried to get somebody to come out and commentate it, but again, the budget was very, very thin. He put up his own money for this also. And Joe, what you mentioned there, like, he took the leap and tried to do it. It wasn't a cash grab by any means. Yeah. It was, there was an attempt to possibly maybe like come somewhere near break even or break half even, because he put up $15,000 just for us and Shock to get there.
And then you guys won 15?
That was the 15,000. So that's what he put up for like the prize package. Yeah. And then, you know, all the rest of the infrastructure, he, you know, his field was not the nicest. It's certainly not the nicest field by any means. It was a one field kind of thing and like a kind of a small lot. Yeah. As a lot of you guys saw. So he didn't have time to like kind of make the grass look good, because obviously he had to run and conduct business there during the weeks. But you know, like you said, dude, it takes a lot of balls to do that, knowing that like, and dude, like you said, Joe, I think that was really good. The people that were there, like everybody's watching, like we're a little late, and the first point happened, everybody's like, yeah, the second point happened, and then that third point when Aaron and I teed off on each other, everybody was like, rah! It was like, dude, it was like we were in a Coliseum. They were so loud.
On the YouTube video. Yeah. You can hear everyone.
That was brutal, dude. That was brutal.
People love the violence, you know, the 15 BPS chainsaws. People love that. It's even better in person.
So, you know, people like Noel Tran. I don't really know Noel, but he sucks, dude. That guy's a piece of shit also. All he did was just bag on it and complain about it and like post about it and like just be a little whiny baby about it. And I was like, who is this guy? And everybody's like, oh, he used to coach something, do something. But like people like that just want shit to fail. At least I want to say, Will Ball reposted a lot of that and was like, hey, wow, this looks like it's a piece of crap. But at least Will Ball did give the guy, commended the guy on like actually like doing it. He's like, man, he put up his own everything for it. And like, dude, good for Will Ball, like at least acknowledging that the dude like went out on a limb on it, you know? And then go ahead.
I was gonna say I didn't actually know specifically who talked crap. I just see the random negative comments when like they would put up the banners. I don't really look at other people's stuff, but anybody out there, if all you do is crap talk paintball and people trying to make projects and grow paintball or do something new, you're kind of a piece of shit, right? Like, this is the biggest issue in paintball, and we've said it for so long now. Matty Marshall says it too, is that paintball people hurt paintball itself. Like in no other community are there just people that are always keyboard warrior, like attacking the people that are just trying something new. And even if the new thing isn't perfect, or even if it was terrible, like, dude, we're just trying to make this sport better. And it just sucks to have the peanut gallery that play paintball. These aren't outside people come in and just like bag on it.
Yeah. And so, you know, exactly, Joey, dude, what they accomplished from Friday evening to Saturday morning was absolutely impressive. Like that, we got there and we're like, oh boy. He's like, guys, I'm putting up new nets tonight. I'm running all the airlines. I'm putting up the VIPs. We're like, where's all this? Where's everybody going to sit? Where's everybody going to park? Dude, we got there in the morning. We're like, wow, this actually looks really cool. Like, this looks great. You know? So I think he did a fantastic job. I also think, and I'm sorry to the paintball players in Utah, that he, for what he invested in his park to get that thing going, he should have just hit up Mike Hinman and been like, yo, what does it cost to rent your field for 4 hours? There would have been, and then he should have flown out and got his refs there, or got some of the local refs in there, and run it at SC Village.
Agreed.
Straight up. And if he does this again, I'm gonna, and he's probably watching this, I'm going to highly advise that he does something like that, because basically you're getting your player pool from a larger demographic. And while I love what he did, and I think everybody in the Utah area owes a debt of gratitude to what he did, it would have just been, everything would have been smoother. Like you could run it on time. And actually, Joe, I want to ask you this question because Oliver asked me, like, what do you think of the format? What do you think about showing up, playing your 1 hour match, and then going home?
I love that. I'm happy you asked me this because it's not like I thought about this, but my old coach, Buddy Bauer, if you know who that is, I remember he put up a long Facebook post saying exactly this like years ago. Shout out Buddy Bauer. He literally like structured it out where it's like paintball should be kind of like other sports where there's conferences. There's a Western, a Central, an Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
This would have so many advantages. Like, just easiest example, you wouldn't need the extra days off outside the weekend. You could leave Friday after work and drive or fly to somewhere, at least in your own coast or region,
Mm-hmm.
play Saturday or maybe Sunday morning, come back Sunday. Like less time off, less time away from family. A lot of what we do is like really strenuous, and there's teams that are, you know, more strenuous. There's us. There's like, you know, Infamous and Russians that they'll play for like 10 days straight, right? And so if there was a way that you could just play in your conference and just play like 1 or 2 matches a day, big matches, let them add up throughout a season. Local people from your particular community can come and, you know, pay $10 and watch. It becomes a entertainment thing. You build up food and drinks around it, and then you can make it happen more consistently rather than 5 times a year. You know, it kind of sucks to train our asses off and do all this, and you know, I only see you guys and we only play the tournament 5 times. It's every like 6 to 8 weeks. That blows. I would love it if it was like any other sport where you get together and you're like, all right, here it is, you know, Dolphins versus Bills. That's like what it is in every other sport. Instead, we have this giant play through the brackets tournament system, and by the time you play the finals, like you're not even 100% anymore, you know, like you've played a lot of matches. It'd be great to just be like, all right, Shock, let me get you at your best, which is what just happened here, right? Like I would like to do that every time. So each game is isolated and feels more important. And there could also be more like scouting and preparation for that particular play style you're about to play.
Dude, I think absolutely. And I think that, you know, when Oliver asked me, he's like, what do you think of the idea? I was like, dude, I wish that was what it was too. Like, imagine this. Imagine every Sunday during the season, or like for 4 Sundays in a row, and then there's a break or something like that. So you do conferences, like you said, you know, Dynasty, Ironman, Impact, Uprising, you know, Damage, Arsenal, NRG, and Russians, and then you got X Factor, Diesel, Fit, and Infamous, and then whatever. Then there's another handful of teams out there, and you create these brackets, and like there's an SC Village field, there's maybe the Giant San Diego field, there's Dave's Sacramento field, and then there's Uprising's field. So there's 4 fields on the West Coast. Then you got PB Fit, you got Giant Texas, and then you've got X Factor. Then you got Damage's field, you got Boston Paintball, Anthony's field, like whatever. So everybody's got a home field. And on Sunday, there's a 10 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, and 10 a.m. Central or something like that game, or 5 p.m. Eastern or something. So there's 3 matches. They're all 1 hour long. So 2 25-minute halves, a 10-minute halftime break, and then 15-minute pre and post shows, right? And so you've got like an hour and a half packaged show, and you just play this match because, dude, at the end of the day, we played an entire, what we would normally do in a whole practice day. We usually play like 25, 30 points, I think is what we usually shoot for. We played 15 points in the first half, and I think there were 2 or 3 no points. Yeah. Then in the second half, I forgot what the final score was, but we played about 30 points in total in 50 minutes of paintball.
Wow.
Right?
Yep.
So it's super efficient. And then let's just go home. And then we've got we've got 2 weeks off, and then we play again, or 3 weeks off, and then we play again. So we do like Dynasty versus Impact, X Factor versus Diesel, Arsenal versus NRG on a Sunday. Then the next week we could do like Damage versus Russians, Fit and Infamous, Uprising and Ironman. And then the next week would be all the rest of the teams that I haven't, mentioned.
Yep.
But
you know what?
Yeah.
The other hidden benefit there is we got to play through the whole roster.
Yeah.
And everyone got playtime, and you needed to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't care how conditioned you are, you're not going to be playing as good towards the end of an hour of paintball, like that's tough. Whereas in a 15-minute match, especially the way everyone plays nowadays, the game could end 3-1. Like anybody can easily do that. And then most teams end up playing just their starters. That's just the way it is. It's like, man, points come at like such an expense that, sorry, dude, you're playing really good, but I can't even get you in there right now because the starting line is just playing excellent together.
Right.
But in X ball, you're like, you know what? We're going to have time. This first half is going to be 15 points. So let's go line 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 1, 2, whatever it is. I think that's great for paintball. I think that's great for rosters and keeping everyone engaged. I think that also makes maybe the team that only has 7 or 8 guys in the roster want to grab those 1 or 2 talented young up and coming guys in their area rather than like, oh, well, shit, if we're going to grab a guy, I guess we'll fly in the dude from the other coast because we know he's great, you know?
Well, yeah. And I mean, it opens up more opportunities for semi-pro players. I mean, look, we grabbed
Damien.
Yeah, we grabbed Damien.
Meterman.
Troy.
Camp.
Daniel Camp. And then Troy Erickson, who doesn't even have a team right now. And they all played awesome. And it was like a really cool experience. But how great would it be to like have a deeper roster, like you said? And I mean, you could even, that would be kind of tough, but like, it would be unfortunate, but you could get rid of the bottom 2 teams and make it an 18 team or 16 team league, and then the rosters would just be beefed up a little bit, right? Because I mean, 12 guys was the kind of the magic number. That's what we used to do on Dynasty back in the day, and then Shock they said they had 15, but they kind of ran 2 lines really.
Yeah, I saw that. Wasn't one of the lines like
the Shock kids? Yeah, semi-pro kids played really well.
I thought so too.
Did.
They played really, really well.
They looked impressive.
Yeah. They would send it too. They were like, we're not going to play pocket to pocket against Dynasty.
Right.
And they would just send it and you'd be like, all right, Dorito 3.
Mm-hmm.
Their control and like how much they were like staying like true to their lanes and
Dude, they
looked good.
They played really well.
Stepped up.
Yeah. I want to say that they may have won more points than the pro line.
I felt like that too.
It seems to be that way in that YouTube video. I watched like I don't know if that was the live stream that I watched. It was like republished.
Right. Yes.
It was more just like on the sideline.
Yeah. So
those kids would gunfight you like savages too. Like the average pros, like most of the time you respect each other enough where you're like, it's not like you don't think you're a good gunfighter, but you're like, this is kind of 50-50. I'll ask for help. Those kids would wheel and deal at you. It felt a lot like playing like WCPPL where it's like they did not care. They were coming to try to shoot the pro out of his bunker.
It looked like that too. It's like, when we were always coaching, we're like, dude, stop putting your gun down. Like those kids were on it. Like real discipline on keeping.
Yeah. I think they did great. And like you said, they did send it, and they were varying on how they did make those moves, and a little pretty creative on some of their routes and stuff. So, and they're stand up, they're class acts. I don't think they really bonus balled anybody, just by looking at everybody who played. Because
that's probably smart.
That's
true.
true.
You don't want to get it back. I always wonder that when
That's
you're
very
not.
very smart of them. I think Blake was waiting for the first young kid to do something stupid, and then he would have probably just headhunted him the rest of the match until he basically tapped out.
I didn't get to play against them. I didn't get to play against them at all. I was like looking at everybody else. Dude, I mean, I'm cooked, bro.
You got a lot of welts.
Dude,
Let's talk about. Can I ask you? This is the other part of the format. I think we like the one match thing for entertainment. I think we like an hour of paintball, just one team, no split deck. But what did you think about 15 balls a second again?
A little too fast?
I felt like it was the same. I mean, people still made it wide. You just have to be you have to be creative with the field. So the field layout, when we first saw it, like we changed the field layout when we got there, just slightly. And we had to change it because the snake side was just a little too open. So all we did was we moved two pins and then moved a cake over. So you had like a little option to get into the snake and it opened it up. But like without those pins in there, there was nobody's ever going to make it to the snake.
Yeah.
Because there was that big wedge on the Dorito side. And from there, without the additions, like you could see 20 feet on the outside. You could see the guy leave the only spot that was over there to get to the corner. And you have him, like you could be like, oh, whoops, I got to shoot down here.
Yeah, it seemed, I couldn't really get a full vision of the field, but it seemed like a lot of people were even having to like run and dive into that first big tower on the snake side, which didn't seem too far out of that back center even.
No, and I mean, running and shooting, that was a little dangerous, but.
Yeah, it was 22 feet away. So your first 2 or 3 balls could get there before that guy.
Yeah.
Here's what I thought about it. I like shooting 15 balls a second. You know, it's fun. It's nostalgic. It's definitely easier to hold a lane and, you know, gunfight and all that. I also don't mind getting shot to pieces because I remember that's how it used to be. The problem is, and honestly, it didn't change the game that much because even at 10.5, that field would have played the same. Like you still probably would have hit guys going wide because pros are just so good nowadays. Like we know where to shoot. Instead of getting hit 3 times, you're going to get hit once, right? So that's the difference. But the problem is we saw it's just too easy to overshoot people at 15, like, which was annoying because like an easy example was one guy got shot out of the snake by a Dorito player. Our corner player who's looking down the snake, Mark Meterman, he doesn't know that guy's shot. So just as soon as he sees a body begin to come up, that guy may be desperation running, right? He's going to shoot at him, right? The dude gets hit, you know, 8 to 10 times in the chest like that. And boom, overshooting penalty. And it's like, dude, what do you expect? We're going to shoot at the target to be sure. And 15 BPS is going to put a lot of paint on it. So I just feel like it would cause a lot of that chaos. And playing this kind of reminded me why it's a little bit too much. Like you don't necessarily need that, especially when we're all pretty accurate shots. So as a one-off event, great. 15 BPS, sweet.
Yeah.
But as far as like carrying it over, like I'm happy it doesn't go back to 15 because once again, if I get overshot to shit, I don't care. I don't even want them to get an overshooting penalty on me. But if it becomes that weird thing where it's like, stop overshooting or this and that, well, what do you expect, man? We're shooting buzzsaws.
Yeah, that did become a problem because they were like, okay, nobody really complained about it.
I think 12 would be a nice middle ground.
Yeah, middle ground. So nobody really complained about it. The refs were just like, okay, it's getting out of hand. They just kind of saw it because it was. And they were like, okay, we're going to stop it. Like, it's getting out of hand. Let's stop it. The very next point, Trent just teased off in the back of my head. I was like, are you going to throw a penalty? Like, I didn't see who it was. I go, just pull somebody. You just pull anybody.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really matter, you know? I go, because I don't care one way or the other. Just let me know, and then I'm gonna do it back to them.
Yeah, yeah.
But like,
what's the rule?
Don't just say it's a penalty, and then the very next point you do it to me, and then I can't do it back. And a lot of guys got kind of got still into it. Like Hosky got a penalty for bonus balling me even after all that. Yeah. Mark Meterman got one, and both of us lost the points because of it.
Jeez.
You know, and some of it, like you said, Joe, is you shoot a rope. And like someone stands up, or if like one person just kind of pops out into your view and they were dead, like, hey, I'm hit. And you just send a rope in. Yeah. It's like, oh, whoops. It wasn't like, yeah, try. So like there's this, because it's going to look bad. As a matter of fact, Danny got a penalty on the very last point for shooting Mark. So Mark comes out of the middle and Joe, you shoot Mark. And then I saw you get shot. So I turned and Mark was like cowering. And so I shot him too. And because I don't know if he's alive. And he literally, I have it on camera, just does this and the ball hits me in the chest. I'm like, oh, and he was like kind of still running. And Danny was looking inside and Danny sees me get shot. So he just rolls out the tape, shoots Mark one time, hits him in the nuts. Danny got an overshooting penalty. And then they won the point with like 2 seconds left. Yeah. So, you know, it's overshooting is weird, as Kyle knows. It's very subjective to what is and isn't actually overshooting, right? Yes. If someone can't see each other, so again, you're posted down the snake and you're just shooting corner to corner and a guy stands up and just gets smoked a bunch. Actually, I think that happened to you or Oliver. Remember that? I think it happened to Oliver, maybe.
Yeah, that's happened to me though too.
But
where you're like blind shooting.
You're blind shooting and a guy just kind of, oh, that's right, it happened to you. That's right.
Yeah.
And a guy just stands into your lane and they're like, oh, that's overshooting. Yeah, Cleveland 2015 vibes.
Yeah, when I overshot Archie in the pack with one ball.
With one ball in the pack, malicious overshooting. So. Yeah. Getting overshot and then being warned about overshooting is one of the sillier things. I mean, that sucked. Because I was getting just teed off on every single time.
Yeah, here's the other thing is like, if you're just looking at the guy getting shot and you see him getting ripped, like, you know, all of a sudden 15 hits across him. If that's how you're basing it, well, okay, it looks like overshooting. But what if 4 or 5 players saw that guy make the move? Each of those guys only might have shot him 1 to 3 times, but everybody sees him, all of a sudden the guy's covered up. So that's not really overshooting. That's just the guy got shot by everyone because he was in the open or did a run through or whatever. I think if you're a referee and you're standing over the shoulder of a guy and the guy sees a hand go out, and then as he's getting off the sideline, you watch that player just rip him to the sidelines. Now you can see, you're like, all right, come on, man. Like, and then maybe even still warn him, like, no more of that shit, right? But to like look at a guy and see him get shot to pieces and be like, overshooting, it's like, well, did you see the situation? Like, did you see that maybe he was blocked out and the guy was blinding in on him? Did you see that guy over there is shooting him too? It's just, I don't like the overshooting penalties.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that there's a pretty easy way to kind of to understand it. If you're on the sidelines and you're getting shot like poor Danny, that's overshooting. If you run through the middle, like A-Rod ran underneath the X, right up the middle of the field, we had 5 guys alive. Like, he got shot a lot. You know, like, that's going to happen. And he knows it. And A-Rod never really complained. He was just like, hey, if you guys are going to do it, we're going to do it. If you're going to do it, like, he knows, like, it's game, recognizes game, right? But there should be a way to understand, like, if you're on the field and you see somebody like turning their barrel on them, then maybe, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. And look, the refs were doing their best. Big shout out to Brian, the head ref, dude. The poor guy. It was like, one point in time I walked up to him and he was already getting talked to by like 2 guys. He looked at me and he goes, oh God. I just like.
Was it hot out there?
It was pretty warm. It was nice. It was like perfect. It was like 80 degrees, 86.
If I was reffing out there with all that, I'd want to wear a lot of stuff.
But there were a lot of refs that were very new. So first of all, they had the best seats in the house to like a pretty exciting situation.
Yeah, true.
And they were stoked too. But some of them were a little overwhelmed with the pace and
the
arguments, dude. I remember a little anecdote here. I remember the very first time I ever reffed, I was the chrono ref, back when you had to like ref the chronos because like no one. So I literally sat there. You clear your barrel one time and then you shoot 3 shots over the chrono, and I would write all 3 numbers down, and if you were over, you got a penalty because I was good at math. Right?
Yeah.
So if your average was like under 10 feet the second under, then you got a penalty over. Anyway, then the next time, like my next big reffing gig, sometimes I kind of like in the reffing scene, not the scene, but teams got to ref. I think we talked about this. If you're a pro team, you got to ref an event, you got first place points. But us as like an amateur team, because we were kind of like in the scene, we got to ref the Las Vegas event. And I remember reffing Daryl Trent on the All-Americans when they were playing the Ironman or something like that. And I went and pulled him out. And he was like this gigantic ogre of a human being. And he was like storming off, I didn't get shot, rah, screaming at me like. And like pros back in the day were much scarier than me.
Yeah.
like we are not the same type of pros as back in the day. They were scary.
No Tran responds. Let's kind of stand up.
Dynasty and Aftershock. It was
Aftershock. What was that?
Connor Kelly is ass. Full match is great for live. Mech guns. I'm sorry, I just lost this thing. Where to go? Mech guns are great now. X-Ball should be mechanical. If there were enough good refs, there should be 2 pro fields running concurrently. Yeah, so if to do this idea of having multiple divisions, you'd have to have a lot more pro refs or spread the pro refs around a little bit. Refs get better just like players the more they ref. Straight up. But yes, you do not want a 10-man woodsball-esque reffing scene out there because some people will never play. But shout out to the refs though, because man, it must have been very overwhelming. And then we're getting the shit shot out of us and being like, well, he's hit, he's got this, and they're like, stop talking on the field. And just like, everybody was like pointing and yelling, and we're screaming from the sidelines like, he's hit, pull him out.
Yeah.
And these guys are. A lot of refs out there are fans of paintball, and if you're fans of paintball, you're probably fans of Aftershock and Dynasty also. So it's very hard to kind of like leave your biases alone and be like, I don't really want to pull a penalty on these guys yelling from the pit.
Yeah.
And this guy is hit, So thank you, Noel Tran, for the gift. Appreciate that. Let's give him an air horn. Sorry,
that was cool. Yeah, the sideline thing is interesting, right? Because part of me likes that modern paintball is almost like a gentleman's sport golf where the sidelines kind of just wait till after the point's over and they clap. But also crowd participation happens in like every other sport. So,
Mm-hmm.
like for those people sitting in those stands right there, it probably felt awesome. Like, man, look at this drama. The pros are kind of chirping each other. That's cool. Like now I can kind of know if there's whatever, like rivalries or beef, or just because you get to really hear it. Where if everybody's told beforehand, like, hey, keep it very PG and professional, they're just like sitting there. Sure, the game is exciting, but there's not that extra layer of it. So I thought that was cool. You should never be able to, from the pits, like yell out a position or something like
Right.
that. But like yelling, are you serious? Check his pack. Like that also shouldn't be penalized, right? Because maybe the ref is a human. His eyes miss things. Maybe he doesn't see that the guy in front of him is hit on the other side because he was looking away, signaling someone else. And if you don't tell him, and then you watch that guy win the point out with a pack hit, which we did. It's like, come on, man. Like, I was afraid to tell you, but if you would have just listened to me when I said, can you please go check that other side? You would have found that he was hit, and then that guy wouldn't have went and killed someone.
Dude, honestly, the way that they should do it is if you yell from the sidelines and the ref goes and checks and there is not a hit on him, then it should be a penalty. I think that because then it'll cull a lot of the get him out. Like, hey, check his pack. He has hit on his pack. I just saw it hit. If the ref goes over there and sees the hit, then the team that got shot and it gets a penalty. If he goes and checks him and there's no hit, we get a penalty. That's how it should go. Instead of just like, because a lot of times you're right, man. Like guys get hit, we see it because we're watching the game, and it'll stop the bullshit. The Johnny Perchek shot him in his face. I shot him in his face. Check if he's in his face.
Yeah.
He's never hit his face.
Okay, I like that because it would stop like the random bird dog where it's like, great, a guy just went and checked our snake guy. No one knew he was there, right? However, why I don't like that is because that would add a whole nother layer to cheating where now the guys like, the squirrely dudes, even the Harrison Fries,
Pretend
not only do they get away with a hit, but they get your team a penalty when they wipe it. Like that goes from a dead guy lives to a dead guy now gets your team pulled without shots. I'm not so sure if you can penalize the people yelling to check a hit because sometimes we are going to see a hit and that guy's going to pull that pot off instantly.
Or someone fakes it like they got shot.
Oh, that's true.
You get them to call.
Dude, then we're opening a whole new idea. Dude, Kyle, you should tell them about your cheating idea.
Oh,
Please,
so
Mike, tell him.
Yeah, last week Mike came on because he was talking. We were talking about. We actually didn't get to talk too much to Mike about that actually, but he's saying that there needs maybe to be a little bit better of like an honor system because of cheating, like especially the last WCPL was getting a little out of hand, and like players were having to get suspended and whatnot. But seeing it more often than it has been lately, I guess. But like, how do we create more of an honor system? And what idea I thought of, and I actually messaged Mike before the show, and he said, yeah, we actually were kind of discussing that. But is like essentially pay, because right now you do see it sometimes, but like videographers kind of protect the players, and they might show it to the player. And be like, I'm not gonna post this, but just you can see it. And most of the videographers will say they catch an incredible amount of cheating on film, but they don't expose the player. So what I was thinking is that, whether it's the league, it would have to be the league, but they pay like a bounty almost. One, either for the videographer to post the video of the player on their social accounts, or deliver it to whoever, commissioner, head ref, and then. Yeah, I don't know how you would decide whether to like penalize the player later. I guess it would just be case by case, but like if it's very evident, like clear evidence that the player like wiped a hit or something and it's on video, and you can tell exactly who that player is, then maybe the next match that player's suspended. Next prelim match,
I think you're onto something there with just like the shame, because so many, and that's like,
Verbal said I'm posting it every time.
Yeah, because that's one of the things, like just public shame a little bit will definitely
I brought it up
effect on
at our diesel practice this weekend, and a lot of people were like, "Yeah, I mean that would even if as like more videographers posted that on their socials, it would deter people from trying to get away with hits."
Dude, Heisman 01, he's like that mouse NXL or MPPL wiping running to the snake.
No, yeah.
But the best
I thought
part
that was
about all that
Alex.
is he's wearing Alex Fraigie's jersey, and all the refs thought it was Alex. But yeah, I mean, like public shame, because a lot of people are just like in denial, you know, when they cheat. They're like, I don't, you know, like no, it didn't hit me, you know, like oh no. Because remember you said it, and like, hey, did you cheat? And he's like, no, and you asked him like, 3 refs said you did.
Yeah.
You know, like if it was just 1, I'd say something.
Yeah.
If it were 3, I'm gonna believe them.
Yeah.
I want to get your back, but no.
Yep. I think that'd be sweet. Public shaming definitely works. There'd still be guys, unfortunately, that wouldn't give a shit. They'd be like, yeah, whatever. They didn't catch me at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You show me afterwards, but I'm going to keep cheating next event. But I think the bulk of people, you know, most of us are good people. And if we already didn't like cheating or weren't, we'd be like, whoa, now definitely don't want to be one of those assholes on tape. The other thing I wanted to address real quick, Dylan Boyum, shout out my old homie and DMG guy, said in the chat, we blatantly got cheated by Houston Heat one point. It was on film. Trojan said he would not look at it unless it was from Go Sports. The player was the only one alive and scored the winning point. Okay, that kind of sucks, right? Because it's not like it's a different field. Like,
It's not like I pulled up some old archival footage. Like this is clearly what's happening.
This is this game.
Yeah.
It's not from your Go Sports guy, but my guy didn't like Photoshop it. So like, you're telling me that if I walk up to you with like, you know, the video already playing of the guy doing this, you're going to be like, that wasn't Go Sports. So sorry, clean hang. Like, dude, I don't give a fuck where it comes from. If you're able to review that the guy was hit and hung the flag or whatever, can we do something about that? You know, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm still a little jaded from the penalty thrown in the air that then wasn't pulled. So it makes you do the numbers wrong. And then you think you've won the game after your move. And then they don't do anything about it because they couldn't quite see the angles or who it was on. It's like, but you fucking see the yellow flag go in the air. You know what I mean? Can we enforce the rules of never before has anybody ever been like pointed at and called out? And then they're just like, actually, you know what? No, you can go back in. Like once you're out, you're out. Whether they were hit or not, they made that decision. They called out. Everybody down the field sees the signal out. That player is out. Kill 1, right? So the point is, if it's caught on your camera, other photographers, whatever it is, if there's proof, can we just take the proof and make the right call?
Right.
That's it.
You really need a rainbow flag for that situation. Just
Stop
judging
it.
my-
Stop
All
it.
right,
Stop
I
it.
just-
What do you mean?
Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
We'll just move forward.
We'll move forward.
We'll
We'll
move
move
forward.
forward.
Sorry, Chad. Did I accidentally, while speaking too quick?
You dropped it.
You just dropped a letter.
You dropped an L.
You know what? That was meant to be flag. It's not like dude, I trip on my words all the time. Hopefully no one takes this out of context and cancels me, bro.
It's okay.
you
It's
Are we
okay.
allowed to put that into a reel?
Yeah.
Oh
maybe.
my
Oh
god.
my god.
This is live too. We can't even edit it. A flag in the air. Dude.
If you said it again, that'd have been great.
Oh my god.
I said,
Brutal.
it's all right, man. You just nothing. You're not allowed to get anything. So, yeah, I mean, look, and I think Steve put a nice comment in there, like the idea that if you're not cheating, you're not trying, kind of thing. That's total bullshit. I think you can play above it, but as Dylan said, and I've said a million times, man, refs, like, dude, you've got to applaud your refs at all times because they've got such a tough job, man. They're very rarely, I'd say 90% of the time, people are unhappy with them, right? Mm-hmm. Because whether you won or lost, you're like, well, you know, everybody who lost, it was never their fault. It was, the refs fucked us, you know, like, there was a bad call here. And constantly, I mean, I'm constantly yelling at him like, hey, what's up with this? Like, tell me about that, you know? I do, again, I want to point out, I appreciate Brian for understanding some of the angles that we were talking about. He was like, I get it. Okay, understood. Thank you. But man, they got a great seat. They're huge fans of the sport. But it's tough, dude. You're on your feet all day. I just went to the zoo and walked for like 2 hours, and my back feels like I feel like I got in a car wreck. I can't imagine standing and revving all day. It's got to be. It's brutal, and it's hot or it's raining. It's never perfect weather, and dude, they're doing the best that they can, and refs miss things, and it's tough, but. A lot of them are doing their best. A lot of them are hitting the vape pens, getting a little crossfaded out there. But honestly, for the $200 that they're getting to get shot 1,000 times, like I don't blame them. Yeah. But unfortunately, there's not enough. There's not a big enough slush fund out there to really appreciate the refs enough. And then they got to break down the fields at the end and clean the bunkers. Like it's tough, man. So
this is one more benefit to the one-off match.
Absolutely.
I'm going to watch one match. The refs can come in, dialed, full energy, pay attention as much as they can. And then when it's over, they walk away. They're not going to watch 17 more matches. Like, dude, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. After ref and WCs and all these things, it is like one of the worst jobs ever and the least appreciated. If you could just do one match, you would be a far better ref.
Way better ref. Yeah, you're not getting the 5:30 p.m. match, where the field's deflated and they don't want to do it because there's not enough time. Everything runs on time. And you could even do a pro and a semi-pro match, right? Or a local match just to kind of like generate a little bit more buzz. Or you do the local match first and then the pro match second, so people are there, getting there, watching a little bit, and kind of like a UFC fight kind of. And dude, I honestly, when I was talking to Oliver, I go, dude, this would be so great. And I think who mentioned it earlier was like you play the round of 16, the top 8 teams go to World Cup.
Yeah. If
you don't make the cut, you don't make the cut. Good, better luck next year, but you still play the 5 or 6 matches and you fly in, and it also saves a lot. Like it seems like if we have to play 2 extra of these events, but they're kind of like you do 4 on your coast, your region. And then you do one travel event, like we play Damage or we play Russians or we play someone on the East Coast once. You just go in and you're in and out in a day. Yep. Right? You're in and out in a day. And so you don't need 5 nights of hotel. You don't need 5 days of rental cars, 3 rental cars each. A lot of times you can probably drive to the events. So you're saving a ton on travel expenses. I honestly think that, and then Go Sports would have the hardest job. You'd have to have more commentators that are able to carry the show, which I think you can get in local areas.
For sure.
Shout out to who's the guy in Arizona, the Google God guy? Have you guys been watching his stuff? Mm. It's so funny. He's really good. He did a carbon video that was really funny. Mm. He goes to all the WCs.
Yeah, I know.
You saw that one probably.
Yeah.
Sustainability wise and just like logistics, really, really so many things. There's just no need to have like the pro event with everything else. Like you could divide Major League Paintball from NXL now, just because in no other sport is there there's not an NFL game and then a bunch of Pee Wee and Little League games happening along the sidelines, right? Or in the parking lot outside the stadium. So if you could focus a lot more on having really quality fields with great post-production or live filming setup and have a cleaner, more professional look without all the distraction, all the trade show, whatever. I'm not saying get rid of NXL either. There should still be a national league for all the teams that want to get to travel outside of their state and compete against the other best in their division, right? But for the pro teams, just play in your own conferences, and then maybe the ones who make it and move on, they show up at World Cup, and then at World Cup with all the other teams, there's the big show field too. But for the whole rest of the season, there's really no reason that we have to be around it. And I'm not saying that's not a entitled thing either. I love meeting kids and coaching and whatever, but the two things, they don't need to be tied together. And they make it where it's all these extra expenses come, and then you hear the justification of it and you're like, okay, I get that, but that's because you're tying in the pro league with this giant traveling circus, which just doesn't have to be attached.
So let me ask you this. How do you think, or how would pro paintball, or how would paintball events, how would the NXL look without pro teams there?
Okay, so asking me personally,
Sure.
I think people say a lot of people go to NXL because there's pro there. That's what legitimizes. My response would be this: if that was the case, the stands would always be packed. But the stands really don't pack until like 10 and on Sunday. Like, why? Because most of those people are busy playing and scouting their own games. Sure, if it's available, like the younger kids or the ones who it's their first time at an event and they're like, oh, I was morning bracket, I'm done, and I can go watch Dynasty versus Russian Legion now. They come over, right? There's always those like couple people in the stands if the weather doesn't suck and it's not 7, 8, 9 a.m. But for the most part, I think it would carry on exactly the same. People would still show up, want to be the best D3 team in the country, whether we're there or not.
There could also, if they did it properly, one of the first 4 of those events could be one of the travel events, and you could run 3 matches a day, right? 3 matches on Saturday, 3 matches on Sunday on the pro field.
Yeah.
You know, like imagine that. If they did one out on the West Coast, they would, like say we go to Phoenix or Vegas, and then one in Texas, there would be the teams that would go would be the guys that are in that conference, and then they would play a couple of events, and on the East Coast events, like we'd have 2 other things. That could be kind of cool. And then again, the finals are in World Cup. You know, they make it, you don't. That'd be cool. What do you guys? What do you guys think? I put a comment in there. What do you guys think events would look like if NXLs only did divisional events and no pro teams played? So Joe, I got a question from you from Junior and BFPgear.com. BFP Gear is a sponsor of the show, and they sponsor a question of the day. And so Junior had a question.
I love that
you.
guy.
First, he said, if you were to buy gear online, where would you shop?
I mean, it's kind of obvious. BFPgear.com.
That's right. Right. Good answer. Good answer. You're still on the team. He's not going to sit you. So he said you played for a few pro teams now in your career. What's the biggest difference you've noticed with Dynasty compared to the others, without giving away too many secrets?
Okay. Yeah. So I've played for New York Extreme, DMG, Damage, Aftermath, Infamous, and now Dynasty. And, you know, outside of like the playing structure, I would say the difference is honestly like it's mostly the vibe. You know, like every team kind of has its own vibe. There's like these like, you know, hardened, tough teams that are like more about like the violence. There's these teams that are like trying to find their identity, you know, oftentimes the newer teams. There's like the hyper professional team, like, you know, Russian Legion seems just very professional and sportsmanlike. But Dynasty is like, I mean, it's the team everybody knows outside of paintball for a reason, right? Like it's the ambassador team. And that's what it feels like being on it. Like anytime I'm around you, Yosh, Alex, Blake too, who's been around for a long time now, you can just feel like that pride in 25 years of being a successful thing. And not just being a winning version of it, but just this thing that keeps itself alive and keeps people around, not for the money, but like because it just loves it. It just loves paintball and it just loves being there for each other. And like that was why I felt like I kind of fit in quickly, because I was like, this is me. This is like why I love paintball, you know? Like I'm not here for any other reason other than I want to love the guys that I'm playing next to. And I fucking love this sport so much. Like I'm going to talk to everybody on the airplane next to me about it, right? So I've already kind of been an ambassador for 10 years in the pro league about this damn thing. And now when they ask, I didn't get to tell you, but on the flight to Utah, I was next to 2 people, and I forget how, but I heard them mention something about paintball. And I was like, oh, I play paintball. And they're like, yeah, we play, you know, and my cousin plays tournaments. And they're like, what team are you on? I don't really know much about paintball. And I was like, what's the team you can name? And they were like, Dynasty. And for the first time I got to be like, I'm on that team. Whereas other times I've had people next to me be like, oh, I can only ever remember one name from back in the day. They shot the Angels Dynasty. Is that team still around? And I'd be like, yeah, they're still around. They still kick ass. And now I got to have it like happen. So yeah, I think that's the difference is you're just like, I don't know. And in another way, it makes you really have to like always hold yourself accountable. Like I always thought that you guys were like the very PR friendly or like Disney team because you are in the eyes of those 95% of paintballers that we don't see. The kids that just buy a brand new gun and they go to Friday night street ball, but they don't actually play tournament ball. All of those people and Woods players, they know Dynasty too. So like I really take pride in like trying to represent the sport as a whole as like positively and friendly and professionally as I can.
Dude, you're the man. That's an awesome story, dude. You should try dating here in San Diego. It's the same way. It's like, hey, I play paintball. Like, do you know Oliver Lang?
So
you're like, ah, damn it.
Gotta find somebody else.
Gotta find somebody else.
Yeah.
That's what it was like for about 20 years.
Too funny.
So I know it all too well. Well, you're right. You know, like it's pretty cool to see the development and just not only just our players but our fan base. How a lot of people are still surprised that we're still around, which is also a funny story that we get all the time. But we've got so many fans that it's a generational team. You know, we started selling kids' clothes lately, and a lot of players, you know, they started playing paintball when they were in high school or before college. Then they were broke college kids, and so they had to take time off. Then they got their degree, then they had started families, and then they came back, and they're like, "Wow, you guys still play?" And then their kids have grown up at this point, and we're still around, and we're still somehow doing really well with the help of guys like yourself, you know. And guys that really want to be here, and that's one of the things that we've attributed our success to. It's not just the experience; it's the group of players that we have on the team are guys that all want to be here. They're not, unfortunately, being paid a lot to be here, and that's the reason they're there. They're here because they're like, this is where I want to be, and so thank you also because I know that you sacrifice quite a bit to be here, and I know pretty much everybody on the team does. But it's a really cool. It's really cool for us, like for me, you know, that there are so many people out there that love and what we're doing and are still supporting us for all that time. Even the guys that hate us, I don't mind.
Yeah, that's another thing I wasn't ready for until I came in. You guys were like, get ready for the flood. Man, holy shit. Dynasty has a bigger fan club than probably the rest of the league's fan clubs combined. Like, you know, you get 1,000 messages in that first hour when you come on. And even still now, like I get a lot of messages and I even get phone calls almost daily from certain fans. Shout out to them. You know who you are. It's a little much, but I appreciate the support. Like I love you guys. And like I never wanted to be like a celebrity. I don't think many people play paintball to become famous. Right. But it is cool to have like this like level of support and like love for the team you're on behind you where you see it and hear it everywhere. And you're like, I got to play even harder for them. You know what I mean? Because they're not giving up on me. Like they're still messaging like, don't worry, you're going to have a better day tomorrow. Go 3-1, whatever. And you're like, holy shit, this never happens before. So great.
Yeah. We'll tell Chris Sawtell to stop bothering you.
You got a question here from Joey. So he'd love to hear your opinion. Paintball's median age is increasing every year. What can we do to fix that issue to help bring in more of a younger audience?
Okay. What's up, Joey? I'm not sure. Is that actually correct or are you just estimating? Because I remember when I was a kid, there was a lot of kids around me. And then I remember, I don't know, by the time I was like 20, I didn't really see those generations of like the 10 to 14-year-old little groups of kids around anymore. But now I kind of see it again. So is that real data or not? Because like, I feel like in the past few years, since they started making like the kids division, you know, like I'm in an area that doesn't have a ton of paintball. The Pacific Northwest is not a hotbed, but up here at Impact Action Sports, there's like, you know, a dozen or 24 kids always at the field. Whereas when I was playing, you know, in California, the previous 5 years, you didn't really see too many teenagers. So I guess I'm not so sure if that is true or not, but I don't know. What can we do to fix the issue? I feel like people are trying to do it. I feel like it's the same thing people say about Grow Paintball is like, that is organic. You can't market to Grow Paintball only. You have to, like, we all probably have a friend, right, with like kids or nephews or whatever. Why don't you, if you're a paintball player and you probably have an extra gun set up, be like, hey, let me take little Jimmy to the field with me. You know, Saturday is not really a practice day. We're just kind of playing street ball. You know, you and your wife go have a fun Saturday. Don't worry about it. I'll take your kid out for a fun day. And it's going to cost you $35 for the case of paint. And it either sticks or doesn't, right? Like either the bug bites hard and that kid becomes a weekend warrior at least, or it doesn't, but at least you tried. You know, at least you went like, I'm not just going to tell someone about paintball. I'm going to bring my friends or friends' kids, who are the ones we want, out and see if I can grow the population from the ground up by getting that next generation in. And if you don't do it, it's kind of on you.
Yeah. I think it's tough, right? Because I think that a player experience when you get to the field is a big factor, retention. Because right now, so many fields live on these birthday parties, but so many fields don't care about the customer retention, and that's a big problem, right? The customer experience, because they just like, well, we'll just keep advertising. There's a local field here in San Diego that does that. Like, they don't really care. They would love for you to come back, but it's not that important. They just want to continuously grab at, $80 per ad, a group of birthday kids and just keep shoveling them in, shoveling them out, shovel them in, shovel them out, And I think that if we really focused on making sure that all of those kids had not only like an extremely good time, but we're also somewhat like just, there's got to be an introduction into the greater part of paintball, right? The rest, where the trajectory could go. It's like if you went to a ski school and like as they're going up, be like, oh cool, look at that little park right there, and you see someone do this cool little flip, and some kid's like, I want to do that. But if you don't even introduce them to them, they're like, all right, cool, that was fun. Like, I'm gonna go do my own thing. Or imagine if you played baseball for the first time, you played t-ball, and you're like, that was cool, and you had no clue that this was like an actual thing where people could get paid to do it, and there's an actual sport side of it. So I think that a little bit of both. And one of the things that I've kind of done in the past, I think if you go to Boston Paintball in Maynard, I'm there. I'm the guy on the video giving the safety speech. And it's like, hey, I'm Ryan Greenspan from San Diego Dynasty. Welcome to the exciting sport of paintball. Right? If you played this, that, and the other, and so you kind of like imprint on players, and then there's like a cool little maybe montage of like a little bit of woods ball action, and then I give tips at the end. Like, hey, I'm gonna make sure I want you guys to. I'm gonna give you some tips from the BKI School of Paintball on how to have a really good time out here. Like, this is how you hold your paintball marker. This is what you're going to do. Look down the barrel. This is how you move around. This is your pod. This is your loader. This is your mask. And it's like, I think personally that's a great idea. And more fields should adopt something like that. And it really will be like, because then there's kids that are like, whoa, there's professional paintball? Even parents are like, what? And then more people like Dynasty, obviously. That's another one of my angles. Hi, I'm Ryan Greenspan from Harrison Fry's Dynasty.
I have two thoughts on this, on making more customers, making the younger generation grow, and keeping them. Is I've heard field owners say things like, well, we make more money on birthday parties and rando rentals and stuff like that, so they focus more on that than like keeping the guy who's going to come back every weekend and be a tournament player, or even just like a weekend every weekly street ball player, right? And to me, that's silly, because yeah, you're going to make a lot more money per case on that one guy, but he's probably only going to come once or twice that year. You're going to make way more money that year off the kid who comes and buys at least a case every weekend. Mm-hmm. That's just like common sense, right? Now, on top of that, how you can make sure that person does come every weekend is fields do need to focus on better experience. Like one thing I can't stand, and anybody who's a field owner out there, listen to this, just hear me out. It sucks when you go to a field and you go buy your paint and you look at behind the people and they have like these old beat up like Tippmann 98s or Piranhas or whatever they are, these like plasticky, like faded looking old guns that they're going to shoot paint, but like you're not going to hit the target, right? And then they have those masks like, you know, a 1998 V-Force Morph with like scratched apart lenses where as soon as the kid starts playing in any kind of humidity or he's breathing hard, it fogs. So even still, a new person is going to have fun somehow playing paintball because it's a good time and it's adrenaline pounding. But think about how much different experience it is when you can perfectly see and every ball goes in about the same area. Not tournament straight, but like if a guy's body's in the open, you can actually hit it. That alone will make your field do vastly better. And I know this because I got a friend who owns a field in Germany, and he said that when he finally reinvested the 10 grand and bought like a bunch of whatever, like $150 G-Mex and a bunch of brand new masks, all of a sudden he started doing a lot better and seeing a lot of those guys start coming back once a month because it's just a totally like night and day experience.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's like business 101 is customer experience leads to customer retention. If you provide a shitty service, then they're probably not going to come back. If you provide a great service, they're going to come back, you know, and everything's rated now. And there's a lot of things. And actually I did a little talk about the symbionts between tournament players and rec players and how there can be kind of something, because obviously, as Mario pointed out, there is a lot more money in the recreational side, but one fuels the other. And you got guys like Anthony Vitale is a great example. Like, he loves tournament paintball at Boston Paintball, and the recreational park sustains the tournament park, essentially. That's how you get a $60,000 turf job on your field. Those guys make sure that people have a really good time. and all the fields with a good tournament park usually have a good rec side as well. And PB Fit, I think I've heard with the glow ball and what they do with their guys. I mean, those guys love paintball also. And that's a big one, right? You got to love what you're doing. And at the end of the day, that's what fuels the player experience. Look at Junior and Gina from Extreme Paintball and BFP Gear and SAC Paintball. Like, they love paintball, you know? Junior loves paintball and gambling in Reno. Those are his two favorite things. And they make sure that the customers are constantly having a good time. They're constantly like tweaking their instructional videos and like making sure that people understand like that that's comforting and they're welcoming to come in. And it's like they care. And it's super important that we have people in the sport, in the industry rather, that care. Rather than the guys that are like racing to get the cheapest paint. Like, I'm saving 50 cents a case to get this gray paintball that doesn't shoot straight, like you said. And I'm getting these goggles that, you know, that came from hot off the press from China that just like fall apart and don't have any foam. So, you know, but it is also, you know, tough barrier to entry for a lot of people because, like you said, it's an investment. You're like, crap, is this going to work? Which again,
yeah, a lot of people maybe just don't understand investment. Like, you know, Junior, he has that field. What's that area called in California that is that field? Modesto. And I remember one time he invited Tim Brusselback and I out, and we got there and he just handed us each a bunch of cases of paint and he said, "All right, go have fun." And that was it. We didn't, and I'm not saying it's not like I'm trying to benefit me or the pros by saying you should make it free and just give tons of paint to pro players, because we probably already get free paint, right? But that told me that he cared, because in his mind, he could have made the extra $50 off us each, or he goes, I already know these guys are going to go talk to all the players here they're playing with, and it's going to get them excited and maybe get more people to come back to my park. You know, I have like Corey Field and Jason and other owners who do that up here in the Pacific Northwest too. Like, they're the guy who always is thinking about the numbers. Are you really caring about like your local community of kids who show up or building and growing paintball? Or are you just seeing everybody as dollar signs, including the one guy who, honestly, letting him play for free entry will probably gain you more dollars in the long run, but you're short-sighted, so you're charging them to make your fucking $20 entry fee or whatever. And all those field owners, you know who you are. And like, do you really care about paintball? That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. Real quick, I didn't answer. I think it was Steve's question earlier. Back to the Utah event, really quickly. If I guess to answer this rather than giving it a rating of 1 to 10, if we were to go back and do another one against Houston Heat, which is kind of the proposition, what concessions would you like to see in order to feel comfortable going back there? What were some of the things that you'd like to see happen?
Man, I'm happy to say this one out because I hope other people are going to try to do things like this. And I think Seth is going to continue to try to do things like this too. So Seth, if you're watching, like, if you don't know me enough already, I always keep it real, and it's never an attack. This is constructive criticism, right? It's not personal. So for you or anybody else who has a field that wants to do this, think about it this way. You're about to invite 2 pro teams to your event, and you probably want top pro teams because that's what people are going to be excited to watch, right? Please, please, please give them a safe ground to play on. You know, like, don't have a ditch running 2 feet down the wire of your Dorito side, or some rocks or stakes sticking up. Or not saying this is all what happened at the event, but like obviously you're not going to plan this for a week out, right? You're probably going to plan it 2 or 3 months away to have time to build steam. So put down some seed or some sod, like make sure the grass is nice, because if one of us had gotten injured at that event, like, I would have been pissed. Like, I know I'm not going to get injured. I'm pretty durable, but like, you know, we got some older guys and some skinny little bony dudes on the team. And if one of them like cracks a kneecap on a hard spot, and it's like, God damn it, dude, now we have our real event in 3 weeks. So like, please be mindful of like making it a field that is ready and prepared as it possibly can be to host top teams in the world. Because you wouldn't, what was the analogy I gave to one of the shot guys while we were standing there funny? I'm like, picture this, like, you invite all the top surfers to your open surf event, and you put them in water that's only 3 feet above jagged coral, and you're like, all right, have fun, I'm going to pay the winner. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not familiar with surf events, are you?
I guess I really don't know, but I don't know. Take any analogy you want. Just like, don't invite us to a field that like could potentially harm someone, you know, like, and maybe make sure all the air systems are tested like weeks in advance. If you get a brand new one, it's broke, shit, that sucks. It is what it is, right? I think that happened to one of them. It was a brand new whatever brand fill station,
yeah,
but like,
that thing off.
But also if the lines were still getting ran the day before to a cross so that there was air in 2 pit areas, man, that probably should have been like set up and tested a week or 2 before, right? Like, once again, it was the first time doing it. There were going to be things that go wrong. It won't next time. But for anybody listening, like, try to foresee all the things that could happen with this event you're about to throw, and just be like, if I was a professional athlete, what would I be okay with showing up to and playing, right? Like, what's the standard I want this to be held at, where I don't feel like it's kind of janky and then it feels less serious because of it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but let's face it, it's not like the NXL is doing us any favors either.
Agreed.
Like, we talked about it, you know, I've talked about it in the past with Bart, you know, and he was at one point, kind of him and JC, I think were cruising around to all the venues back, I want to say around the beginnings, like maybe 2016, 17, somewhere in there, 18 area. And they were going out and making sure the ground was dialed in and solid. I want to say that's not happening anymore. Just going out on a limb.
That's a little rough.
Yeah, and we air it out with Tom, you know, and he's like, I know, I kind of messed up. Like, I wish it were a little better. And that's the other thing, is like reducing the size of the NXL will help to alleviate some of those issues. And yeah, just I think that that this concept that Seth did has legs. I mean, obviously he just re-emerged, you know, he just reinvigorated an old concept, so it's not like it's new. It's a little tweaked because obviously we changed some of the bunkers and stuff. But hey, old stuff's in, right? We got the waffle forces coming out here in a day or two. So yes. Nostalgia is back, baby. So why not bring some other stuff back? Now, I don't want to go as far back as pump guns and all full mech. Still think we need to like sprinkle a little bit of pixie dust on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, yeah, they sure do. Thanks, Juice. And so I'm gonna have a little waffle announcement here soon. Yeah, poppet valves, bring them back. The poppet valves I think are still like, they're still kind of here, but they'll have a reintroduction in a couple of years. I mean, baggy pants are back. Like, what am I doing? How am I gonna unhem my pants?
Oh yeah.
Literally, I've had some of the pants, some of the jeans I've had for 20 years. No joke. I had these things at the paintball house, and I've just been constantly just tapering the legs in. There's like a pair of Levi's that I've had for at least 20 years.
That's quality right there.
I don't wear them every day, but I'm just going like when I need to, like, okay, so we're getting a little thinner in the legs. Like, I just take them to Our Lady Tammy.
Yeah.
Tapers them in. Got a $25 pair of jeans. Straight up.
Nice.
That's it. Man. Sometimes you gotta be smart sometimes with your money. That's why I cut my own hair also. I'm gonna go get myself a haircut tonight. When I get in there, when I put those kids to bed.
Yeah, I do the same. You save money.
Yeah.
Looks like there's a wakeboard park at this place we're going to.
Oh, sick. I'm not doing that. There's a surf park, maybe.
Be on that thing.
Wait, where? In Cincinnati?
Cincinnati.
At Joyce Park, where we're going.
Oh,
where the event is.
Dude.
I'll give that thing a rip.
Hey, Will, this is cool. To get this. So Kyle would have hated this. So after our match, they're like, Shock was like, hey, you guys want to go practice after this? We're like, absolutely not.
On Saturday?
Yeah, on Saturday. Like, no chance. We're going to go do our own thing.
I was going to ask, did you practice on Sunday?
On Sunday we did, yeah. And it was actually a really good practice, to be honest. And
were all the guests allowed to have practice with you guys?
No, we didn't do that. Like, it was too much, dude. We were cooked after that match. But dude, we went up to Tittle Reservoir or something like that. Tittle Creek Reservoir, something like that. So we pull up. It was beautiful. If you guys watched our story, it was insane. It was like this huge reservoir, like this river going up in between this slot canyon, like sick. A regular canyon. You pull up to this thing, not a single person in the water. It was like 85 degrees. Everybody was on a flotation device. Like, everybody had these things, and they were sitting on this like little rock beach. And we're like, how cold do you think the water is? Dude, it was an ice bath. I think the water had to be 40 degrees.
Damn.
Dude, Mr. Kev, I think it's Kev here. Dude, so I jumped in, and it was breathtaking, right? Everybody who just jumped in absolutely was like, Kev, Mr. Kev 2.0, just cruised right in. Was like, oh, wow. This is kind of like Lake Michigan in the winter. And I'm like, what? And then Joe looked like the Terminator, dude. He has this smile that you see on his face right now, and just kind of walks in and slowly sinks into it, smile on his face down to his neck. I'm talking, this was absolutely freezing. If it wasn't moving, it might have been frozen. There was still snow in the mountains.
Yeah,
So cold. But it was so nice. We were like, that was such a cool way. I wish we could do stuff like that all the time. Shout out to the Pacific Northwest. That KC Crusaders field. I did a clinic up there. Dude, that place is sick. They've got a glacial fed river filled with salmon, like literally a stone's throw away from the field.
Yep. Beautiful area. And the guy that runs that field is the man.
He's the man.
Yeah, people also know him as like their Eclipse tech too. But dude, I love that area. If you want to have like a paintball, but you know what? I'd like to camp right nearby type weekend.
Yeah, Kevin.
You cannot beat it.
Dude, it's like we pulled up into there. We got Mount Rainier, Mount there in the distance. Just like a huge volcano, bit ominous, and it was sick, dude. And Kevin is a beast, dude. When he went in that water,
How'd Damien fare?
Damien
WCPO?
Damien played better than he did at the WCPPL. That's for sure. He did make
stamina good.
Stamina was better. It was better.
Good.
He did look a little gassed.
He didn't play good at WC.
He just was a little gassed.
Dude,
it was hot. It was really hot.
He was cooked. I think he got literally cooked.
He looks so athletic.
He does.
You know, but there's a lot of people that are like that. But I wanted to give Damien props actually because something happened this year with NRG where he's like playing really solid paintball.
Yeah, Damien's been dominating.
Yeah.
And when I first started playing with him on Scorpions, I was like, all right, he's good. He's like, your standard semi-pro guy. And then he couldn't quite find like his mojo when you guys brought him up.
Mm-hmm.
But and then who was he on after that? Iron Man or someone, and it still just wasn't like something wasn't clicking.
Yeah.
And then on NRG, he's in it for them every point.
Yeah.
Like he looks like the guy on that team.
Like less distractions, he's focused.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
He currently has a lot of distractions, but I feel like he's always distracted. There's like
but there's less there. Less, he
it's
doesn't.
like,
There's not as
it's like
many
Rose
friends.
with a butterfly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when Rose has a food bowl and a butterfly, she has no clue what to do. She loves to eat. That's my dog, by the way. So, you guys want to see the barrel cam footage of me and A-Rod teeing off?
Oh
Yeah, and I want to see that Scott surf video.
What do you guys want to see first? You guys want to see Scott try to get barreled on a maxing out day first, or
And we can let Joe know how with the under the water conditions.
yeah, dude, literally like they surf on like shin deep at the end sections in pro surfing. Like there's
reef.
it's very shallow. So that was actually exactly what it was like.
Yeah, okay. So I guess I just don't know surfing. I should have said, what I remember the analogy was, it was you're like, hey, I want to host a NASCAR one-off event. So I'm gonna invite all the best NASCAR drivers in the world, but we're gonna drive the back roads of Detroit.
Yeah.
And just potholes everywhere, like, all right, good luck, guys. I know you're the best, but good luck.
Didn't like a manhole cover shoot off on the Formula One thing?
Oh,
Maybe.
Yeah, in Vegas. Yeah, in Vegas. I'm pretty sure if someone else comment, I think last year, like the very first one or
Damn.
something, a manhole cover shot off like the suction of it when the cars went over it, like just exploded up. Yeah.
So crazy they do that Monaco one where it's like
Oh,
just
dude.
super tight corners.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, it just popped off.
unreal.
Yeah, let's here we'll show. Here we go. Well, this is point 3. We decided to kick it off. And what's funny is I've been trying to figure out where all these hits on the left side of my leg came from. I've got like 15 hits on my left thigh. And I'm like, I never bunkered anybody on the left side. I don't feel like I got shot here. And I'm like, but it all came from the A-Rod one, but the A-Rod was on my right side. I think Trent Nito was underneath the X or like on the other side, just peppering me in the quad the whole time. So watch, we'll show it from my point of view. Oops, wrong button. Where is it? We can let's replay that. We'll replay it here. So he's got that hit on his hand.
Yes. Where is this playing?
It's on YouTube. So his goggles are covered. I was going for the goggles. I should have now at this point. I'm not good at this. I don't do this really. I should have gone down to like the ribs or the legs.
Like under the back area.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna blind him so he can't shoot me. But it's A-Rod and he's like the fucking Terminator. And it didn't phase him. Not to mention, A-Rod was playing at 10.5. Remember when we practiced A-Rod all the time with him and he's like, we're like, hey man, you gotta hold this lane. He's like, I only have 2 pods. We're like, your pack's full. He's like, no, these are all rocks.
Yeah.
Like, dude, these kids are beating us, man. Like, we need more firepower. Like, please. And he's like, no, I'm doing it for the weight.
Was Harrison playing at 10.5 too?
No.
His gun seemed a little slow.
No, I don't think so. You do run fast. Like, you run out of paint fast. So I ran out of paint right there. That's kind of why I had to stop. Yeah. There's a good chance that Harry was on Harry's halfies for his batteries on his everything, or he didn't change his settings. Harry's halfies. Yeah. So that was tight. That was fun. Here, let's watch. You guys want to see Skemp?
Yeah, let's see that.
Let's watch this. This is great. This is one of my favorite downloads here. Okay. So let me preface this again. So they're on a 10-day trip in northern Sumatra on the Banyak Islands. We did this trip back in 2022. It's absolutely sick. But when we went last time, it was like maxing out, dangerous, like scary as hell, way in over our head. And Scott and I were by far the 2 worst surfers on the trip. and we had no clue what we were getting ourselves into. But we managed, and it was funny. And so Scott still has not yet caught and barreled, and that's like the
Bucket list?
That's the bucket list in paintball. You know, it's like he's never bunkered anybody. You know what I mean? It's like imagine playing paintball for 10 years and never bunkering anybody. That's
Or like
Scott
winning
right now.
an event, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. It's like getting barreled sick. It's like insane. It's a really cool feeling, a really surreal feeling. And so this is Operation Let's Get Scott Barreled. So they're on day 3 right now. Today's day 3. He texted me today, and said that they're going to this other spot now that it's gotten slower. But anyway, it's big. It's very big out there. Hold on, let me move this over. No! Let me resize this. So it's not maxing out, because when we went last time, it was bigger than this. But the tide, it looks a little wonky. So there's Scott on the top of this wave. Let's go out here at the beginning. So that's him, that little dot. And, Scott's just under 6 feet. So that's a 9+ foot wave,
yeah.
10 foot wave. This is at a place called Treasures. It's a sick wave. This is a little top turn. This is the barrel section, but it's not quite barreling, so he does his bottom turn.
Stall out a little bit.
Oh, here it comes.
Here he is. He's
comes.
going to
Fucking go!
Like, one thing that a lot of people don't know about
Stall out a little
water
Oh,
is
here it
it's
comes.
pretty heavy.
Here it comes.
Fucking go!
That right there, he's eating his kneecaps.
But luckily, like, you just got to paddle over a little bit, right? Because
Yeah,
it's point
it's
break.
kind of a point break, so yeah, he's not just going to get absolutely dominated. If you fall right where he is now,
Here
it's a
it
little
comes.
tough, but
Here it comes.
Fucking go!
the clamp.
Man.
So I texted the guys this morning. We're in a group chat. They got Starlink now, and I was like, "All right, give me an update."
Jeez.
And they're like, he's had a lot of good attempts. He's absolutely committed every single wave, and you take a beating, dude. And
Yeah.
a lot of times you hit the bottom, and the bottom is like pretty razor sharp reef. So, yeah, 8 pounds per gallon, Steve. 8 pounds per gallon. So 5 gallons is 40 pounds. So, and the amount of water that is being thrown on that sort of thing is a lot. It's like, yeah. But yeah, that's a sick wave. It's pretty, but he's going for it. So day 3 right now, they're surfing to the left, which is even harder to do it because his back is to the wave. And so, but yeah, that's where I almost drowned, not on that wave, but where they're going today. That was a pretty funny one. All right, so real quick, some small announcements. So we are going to be launching on the Dynasty site as soon as tomorrow. So you're gonna want to follow both myself and Dynasty. I think actually it's gonna be probably on Thursday, tomorrow or Thursday. We're gonna start launching the Waffle Forces. So we're gonna have the blue, the pewter, and this is the pewter right here. So you can just have a little look at what that one looks like. They came out insanely good. I've got one of each right here in my possession.
You got one in here?
Yeah, they're all in those boxes right there. Yeah, pull one out.
Let's see him.
Well, you can't show them the full thing on them right now because YouTube will hose us. I can show you a couple. I'll show you a couple other little pictures here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, YouTube does not like it.
Will YouTube let me show this? The best mug of all time.
They will let you show that the best mug of all
She's just
time.
gonna pull out a.
So it's got a Uzarski grip on it right there that has the throwback to the back of the grip frame where it said Dynasty. It's got a bunch of cool little features inside the grip. You can put an air tag, so you can always it's under there. Yeah. Oh, that's the pewter one.
Sweet.
You can always track your gun in case you ever have to worry about it getting stolen. It's a pretty cool little feature
Genius.
that we incorporated. And it's been a project that I've been working on for 3 years now, I believe. And it's pretty cool that's finally coming to fruition. I'm really excited about it. And the first couple of them that are going to come out are going to come with one of these schematics t-shirts. Shout out to James from Island Designs for helping me get these printed. But took the schematics drawing of it I can show a little bit of that.
Yeah. I
sick.
can probably.
Let's see. Dude, the red came out like pretty insane. So here's the red. The red looks nice. Yeah, there's the red right there. The red looks like absolutely crisp. So we're either going to do them tomorrow morning, because we have practice this weekend. They're not going to ship. They're going to start shipping as early as next week on Monday, Tuesday. Probably Tuesday is when, because the keychains are. So these are all going to come with. Oh, I should have put a video of that. So I'll put some stuff up on Field One and mine and Dynasty's page. But these are all going to come with a custom keychain. So the keychain is anodized to match and it's machined to match. Right.
Probably
So
show it like this.
yeah,
right?
you can show it like that for sure.
Dude, it's beautiful.
They really are. They like the cuts, the color, all of that. It came out like the coin is like crispy. The gun actually weighs exactly the same, so there's more meat as you can see on the body. That's to like really show the machining. Like you can actually it actually pops out, like the gun stands out. But because it's got the front Uzarski grip on there, you really got you got it shaved off a little bit, so it's like a nice little balance right there. So we've got these schematic shirts. If you can't get a Waffle Force, then you can pop into the Dynasty shop and grab one of these waffle shirts.
Yeah, this came out good.
They came out really good.
Yeah.
That's like beautiful.
Yeah, it's
I'm really happy how these go. So Peter, yes, there are going to be some in gloss. Actually, there are a couple gloss being made right now. So mainly, Mr. Kev, we will get that sent to the anodizing, and then as soon as your keychains are anodized, we are going to get them laser engraved. So all of the dust colored the keychains arrive, I think, tomorrow in there. So basically you're getting a little keychain, and it is machined. It has like waffle cuts in it, and then it has your serial number to match. So it's the same color, same finish, and has your serial number on there to match. Pretty cool. So yes, Kev, they should be in there tomorrow, so we'll send it to your anodizer. Also, in Kev, who got a raw body, I think there's 2 or 3 more raw bodies available. So if you want to make your own like custom one, and you can, we'll link you up and set you up with the anodizer of your choice. Yes, and Chris, these are a limited number. So right now there's only 100 made. I think there's 101 because there's a sample. But I have that one. It's the black one I've been using. So there's 100 of them made. I may make 25 more, but that's it. So and that's depending on how well these go, because a lot of dealers want to get them. So I may make some for dealers as well. But these are extremely limited, and right now only 100 are made. So it's a pretty cool project. They're gonna be launching most likely tomorrow, but make sure you guys are stay tuned, and then we'll be shipping as early as next week for all these built ones. So yeah, James Hall, you want a raw one? I got you, dog. And Mikey, so there is a possibility that you could pick the serial number, but most of them have been sent to anodizing, so you really got to cross your fingers. You're also going to get a paint and wheels. Cool. Getting yours in blue. Hell yeah. If you guys message me directly, there is a small chance that we can see if there is a serial number that matches, but pretty much all of them have been sent out to anodizing. And I'm going to do a couple really custom colors with that warm look. But if you want to get yours like to look exactly how you want, that's the move, is to buy it raw and send it to the anodizer of your choice. We can hook you up with any anodizer you like. We usually use Outlaw, Ruckus, Archie, and Ryan Hall over at Arc.
Arc is top notch.
Arc's top notch, and they all have like a cool little different like vibe, which I really like. You know, everybody does their like special little vibe, but yeah, Ryan Hall does some really good work. Mm-hmm. We will not send it to Dan Bilzerian's anodizer. Sorry guys, we're not gonna help you there. Actually, we don't know who that is, but we're not playing that game. All right. So, just if you guys are like absolutely frothing and you absolutely have to have one, shoot me an email or a message, and I'll make sure that you're on a list to absolutely get it. Otherwise, please please follow Field One, myself, and I will announce the official. I've got a cool little waffle graphic that's going to go up for that.
That's it.
Show when that goes up.
Dude, thanks for the 3 years of hard work. And
Oh, and Joe, I got one for you. You're getting one. It's a guarantee you're getting one.
thank you, dude.
It's a guarantee. I got you.
In avocado green.
Ooh, I should have done that. I didn't think about that.
It's all good, dude. Dude, I used to have a waffle back in 2000.
You told me that. And when you told me that, I was like, I'm going to get him.
And it was my favorite gun, hands down, of all time. Like, so when I heard that you were bringing this back after I already got on the team, I was just like, my God, dude, this couldn't get any better. This is like the ultimate full circle. I get a waffle again.
Yeah.
Yep, I got you, dog. I got you.
Appreciate
How
it.
was your trip?
Yeah, dude. Let's give a little sign off here. I'm gonna throw up the wheel of names right now and give away some prizes. But Joe, let's give a little.
We don't have a
Let's give like a little teaser of where you would be if you weren't playing on Dynasty.
Yeah, 100%. So I just got back right before the Utah event from a month in Japan. And if not for playing on Dynasty, I would have ripped up my return ticket, said goodbye to my family, my cat, work, and I would have just stayed there. It's not just the food. It's not just the pretty architecture. It's like, it's almost, Ryan's been there before, he knows. It's like you found like this perfect reality, it's like if everybody did just follow the rules and do the right thing all the time. That's what I really like about the culture, is like, there's this level of like respect and humility and like putting society first before your own like selfish needs, like it's remarkable. And I can't recommend it enough for everybody. Like, if you're going to take your 2-3 weeks vacation or whatever, just go to Japan with it, because not only will you have the best time of your life, but you'll see that things can be done better and somehow for cheaper. Like on average, food, hotels, all that is like 25-30% cheaper than here in the States, so it's not Mexico prices, but it is still more affordable. Like I ate like a king every day for very little money. And honestly, if paintball was in Japan, you wouldn't need referees because people would just like, out of sheer morals, they'd be like, I'm not going to cheat. Right.
Dude,
like,
aren't the people just like another level? How
they are,
polite and respectful they are.
They are the best. They are so respectful. Like, I kept thinking, like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to plan for at least once or twice. There's going to be that time that I like bump someone who's rude. You know what I mean? Or like I run into that asshole. It never happened.
Never.
25 days of everybody was like, like sumimasen, which is like, excuse me. And like lots of bowing, like almost over bowing. And you visit someone's restaurant and like, it's not like they just come over, like serve you, expect the tip, leave. It's like they come over and they serve you with the best customer service. And then if you try to tip them, they turn it away. Like, who turns away? I know it's not expected, but like you try to tip them because it was so good. And they're like, nope. And then they bow to you for coming and thank you for like enjoying what they put their passion and love into. So like, I just find that I wish everyone was like the Japanese, like people
put a lot of
actually
pride into the, like, whatever they're doing. No, it's like you have to have all those like pieces, no matter what scale of level of job it is or occupation that they do. They know that it's like,
that's right, because you went there
vital
for a while too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like,
yep.
Yeah,
I forget, they have a word for that. I forget what it's called, but it's like, it doesn't matter if you're trying to build like $1 billion business or you're just opening like a little like pastry shop. You can see that they are going to give their maximum effort and do the very best they can every day. And I love that. It was so refreshing to meet people who are so, like honorable and just prideful in their society and what they were doing and maintaining it. And beyond that, the other thing I like, and this is something that drives me crazy about the United States, not that I'm not grateful to live here. There's a lot of good things, but when you go to like Disney or a zoo or something like that, it's already going to be like $50 to $100 for some attraction. And then you're like, all right, well, I'm in for it. I'm bringing the lady out, and you go to park and parking is $20 or $30. And you're like, but I have to park here. I'm going here. You're not already getting enough out of me from the ticket, and I'm gonna buy like food and novelty items in there. In Japan, it didn't matter what I went to. Like I'd pull in and be like, all right, here's a really nice aquarium. Like, what's it gonna be? And it'd be like $10, and then parking would be free, and then food and water and drinks inside would be like normal prices. It wouldn't be like bang you over the head $10 a drink because you're here and you have to type prices. Because I think that they understand, well, we don't want to price the bulk of people out of being able to enjoy this. We want our society, like everyone should be able to enjoy this park, this museum, this whatever it is. I went into like countless museums and art exhibits where I would do the math. I'd be like, okay, that was 1,000 yen. That's $6. I just paid $6 to get in here. Awesome. Yeah, I'll have, like, it's not free. You got to support the thing. You want it to make money, but they're also not trying to like kill you with profit maximization.
Yeah, and did you see any trash right here? Billy Casey, are you talking about these?
Those are sick. Never. I never saw one like pop can rolling down the curb. Even in the biggest cities, even in Tokyo and Osaka,
Jeez.
You never saw a single piece of trash.
Right.
And there's
super clean.
There's no trash cans. So what else this does that I didn't realize until I got to Hong Kong for my last few days, which is a cool city, but it's like a normal city, is all of a sudden I realized the difference that when you're in a city, it smells like a city, because like even if the people are putting the trash in the trash cans, like there's rotting food in the bottom, right? And there's just like things that smell weird. In the biggest cities in Japan, everything smelled like super clean, where I was just like, holy crap, there's a lot of people here, but it smells great.
So really similar to downtown Los Angeles, it sounds like.
Like a polar opposite reality, bro. Like almost like you're on some other planet where I picture you. Japan is what I picture a utopia to be like. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Flawless.
Yeah.
And the sushi, don't get me started, dude. The sushi, I mean, I was places where, they didn't expect somebody they think you're going to come in and get your 6-piece set, right? And I'm just like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, they weren't prepared for you.
Toro belly is only like $1 or $2 a piece. So surely I'm going to eat 100, and they're going to be like, oh shit, we actually didn't have that much.
We got to take this guy to the hospital.
Tokyo is definitely my favorite
He's going to have
city.
mercury poisoning after this.
You've been to Tokyo?
Yeah, I love it. It's definitely my favorite city by far.
As far as Chris won again.
Big cities, yes.
As far as big cities go, it's unbeatable. Like,
yep.
Just Tokyo, but like, as far as, and again, I always say, I think I said it on your show when we did our paintball podcast, or paintball passport podcast, is like, depending on what you're looking for. Like, obviously, if you're looking for like an animal adventure, like if you're trying to go on safari, don't go to Tokyo or don't go to Japan.
Yeah.
If you're looking for like this insanely beautiful culture with incredible attention to detail and like people that are insanely polite and varying, just absolutely like wildly varying geography, because there's snow in the mountains, it's tropical in the down, and then I believe it is one of, if not the most geothermal active place on Earth, there and or New Zealand, right? Those are the top 2 spots, and it's just like, it's incredible. There's like, did you go to the onsens?
Oh yeah.
Dude,
I went to the oldest onsen there is.
The what? The oldest one? And it's just wild because, and a lot of people
that?
just, it's like a bed and breakfast, but with go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so an onsen is like a public bathhouse, and it could be inside or outside. And it's like the place where you see in movies where like, a lot of old Japanese men are going there, and you're just kind of like all bathing together, or in like these like big hot spring tubs. And it's just pure relaxation. There's normally like not even signal there, because a lot of these places are in like foresty mountain areas. And then the level beyond that, I think this is what you were talking about, Ryan, is called a ryokan. And a ryokan is like the oldest type of hotel. They still have these all over the place, where it's like, your room has like the paper sliding doors. Your bed is like a pad on the ground. And there's people that serve you like 12-course meals for dinner and breakfast. But at these ryokans, a lot of them have onsens, which are like Sometimes they're private. Like you go, I'd like to reserve this one for 1 hour. It's just me. It's like an overlooking balcony, like a bathtub, but outside in the forest. Other times it's like public and there's like, 10 or 20 other people there. It's a little bit weird sometimes being the only white guy and the only person with tattoos there. But
I'm surprised they let you in with tattoos. That's like a big thing. Generally, they won't let you into onsens or any of those types of things with tattoos.
some don't,
Some don't.
but there are ones that are more accepting of now. So I would Google those ones.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have the ones that are like, so there's also the bed and breakfast version of them where you stay in them, and it's super odd because generally speaking they don't speak any English also.
None.
And you're like, and they give you like traditional Japanese food, and so you're kind of eating these weird stuff, and dude, it's like incredible. And like all of them are just, it's exactly what you think of when you see like if you watch that movie, that show Samurai. It's like everything is immaculately clean and no shoes on, and everything's just absolutely meticulously cleaned up.
Yep. And also everyone is healthy. Like it doesn't matter what part of the country you're in. That is what a society that actually cares about, like, well, we're not going to let companies just put whatever they want in their food because it'll save them the extra cents or dollars. Like everyone there's healthy. You really don't see anybody that doesn't look healthy and in shape, because people eat well and they walk a lot of steps every day. The only times you occasionally see anybody overweight, they're an older guy. Like at that point, they're retired. They don't really care anymore. They're drinking, 10 acais a day. But like anybody else in the cities, you're just like, wow, the population here is like just fantastic looking. All these people look like they wake up and jog and, eat nothing but sushi. So I really enjoyed that. And you know what? Tokyo is sweet for big cities, but have either of you guys been to Hiroshima? Holy crap, dude. That is the coolest city in the world because it's like, it's pretty big, but it's small enough that it feels like a small town vibe. Like Tokyo is almost exhausting because there's so much to see. You could walk every block and see new stuff. Hiroshima has like the historical area where like the center is where the bomb dropped. And then there's only like 2 or 3 like downtown main streets. So you don't have to walk as much. And the karaoke bars and all that there, like people there, like in Tokyo, people are used to tourists. But if you're in Hiroshima, even though it is touristy, people don't really like hang out and go out there. So when you do, that was the place where like the people were most trying to vibe with me and like super warm and welcoming. And it just felt great. It was like, man, I think I want to get an apartment here and just, these are my kind of people.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool, man. I love it there. I hope to go there again. I've been there like 5 times.
You probably would have had more fun at the WCPPL, but I think that's a close second runner up.
Yeah, Corona is a close
I
second.
would have been there if not. I propose this guy's trip to Japan.
I'm down.
I'm down.
Dynasty trip, and Kyle, you're more than welcome. You're invited as a
I'll try to sell that to Camille because that's her favorite place. I've taken her that she's been there twice now. Yeah.
Honestly, family come too, right? Bring your ladies, bring whoever. I got
a family of 5, brother. I'm not.
Bring all your kids.
Yeah, bring the 1-year-old kids across the pond.
That might be a little tough, but
those
of us who
a
have,
full price ticket, also, pal.
If somebody only brought like, let's say, a kid, not like a 1-year-old or whatever, Japan, and you had told me this on my show.
Yeah.
What a great place to travel for beginners because it's so unbelievably safe and the public transportation is flawless. Like you can get anywhere very easily, quickly. It'd be a great place to bring your wife or families or for anybody else listening out there. It's such a easy, safe trip as opposed to, if you go to some places, it's like, okay, you're kind of jumping right off the deep end here. There's going to be, dangerous spots or ghettos or animals that can kill you. This is a very nerfed vacation and super fun and friendly.
Yeah. Okay. Kyle's got a question for you.
No, I don't.
You're not going to ask that?
Oh, was
Yeah.
Family Mart or Lawson's or 7-Eleven?
Oh, okay. That's a great question, man. All 3 are great over there. 7-Eleven for sure, though. Like you get some scenic location, Lawson's, and Family Mart is great. Like it has kind of all the same stuff, but dude, 7-Eleven, like I'm still mad about it now because there's 7-Eleven. You could get like an egg salad sandwich or like a fried chicken sandwich, and it's like $3, and it's gonna taste better than the $15 sandwich that I get here in Portland every single time. It's so good.
Yeah.
And you walk in and there's all these like nice like tones and chimes and music, and you go up to like an auto pay register that like you tap it and it like arigato gozaimasu, like it's just like everything there just kind of cute. All the food has like fun anime or little animals on it and shit. Like every packaging thing is like seems like it's designed just to like keep people a little bit smilier when they get out of their work. The girls must love it, because they already dress cute, and even the guys there will have like silly anime or capybara keychains hanging off their backpacks and stuff. Like everybody just there wants cute stuff. And so the first time I walk into 7-Eleven, I'm like, holy crap, you feel like you're in a cartoon or something.
Yeah. Well, sick. I'm glad you had fun.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I love it there. And the snowboarding, if you guys are into snowboarding, is world class, top notch. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Well, dude, Joe, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it. This fun talk. Obviously, you've got a never-ending supply of excellent stories. Just absolutely for all ages. For all ages.
For all ages. They're rated G for sure.
Hey, Joe,
Not
I need
all.
another pair of those shorts, because when you were telling me about them, I was like, I don't want. But they're not good quality. And then you're like, you're gonna like them. They're my favorite shorts.
Yeah, you love them. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we can do another trade. I'll get you another if you want that same shirt.
I do want the big tiger print shirt. Also, shout out Tiger Wear. This is my very comfy material, kind of daily driver, just at home or on flights and stuff. Love it. But yeah, dude, I appreciate both of you guys. Thanks for having me on. It's cool that, one of you is my coach and the other is now my teammate, kind of my back center buddy all the time. And
Back center buddy.
really enjoyed getting to become good friends with y'all. And I always appreciate these opportunities, and love you guys a lot.
Yeah, we love you, and we were before you even had you on, we're like, man, we love Joe. He's such a good person all around. So good on you.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thank you all for coming on. Joe, thank you. Obviously, you're welcome to cruise, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow night.
Tight.
Sick.
Later, bud.
Later, guys.
Later.
Yeah, awesome, dude. Joe's a hoot.
Class
the guy's a hoot.
Yeah, he's
He's
awesome.
great, man. Definitely one of Dynasty's best pickups, as one of you guys mentioned up there. So, yeah, anyway, guys, thank you all very much for tuning in. Thank you for all participating in here. Thank you to our sponsors, Pate Smith and Pate Smith Law, Gen X and Arfon, Alex FRAIGE, we still got his head here, HORMESIS, BFP Gear, Nectar, Island Designs, Tiger Wear. We've got everybody who just kind of donates to the show and sends in a bunch of stuff. We're going to give away some shirts courtesy of Island Designs for...
Thank you, Doc, for all you do
this.
on the back end.
Doc, Chris Sawtell, Joey K, Steve Segovia for moderating in there. Also, big shout out to Mr. Kev, Steve,
Joey.
Chris, and everybody who travels and helps us out, and Joey for all the events. We're going to be in San Antonio tomorrow. As of tomorrow night, probably going to hit the movies. I'm going to be on vacation. Hopefully Camille's not watching this because it's a lot of hard work, baby. Working super hard.
Dallas for me.
Yep, Dallas for Kyle. What field?
Giant.
Giant
Yeah.
in Dallas. And
Collision.
then, stay tuned. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram. I'm going to make an announcement tomorrow, roughly 9 a.m. before I get on my flight. So you're going to want to catch that announcement and keep your eyes peeled. I think Yosh is tirelessly building Waffle Forces this whole week, which was actually just started yesterday. But make sure you guys pay attention and stay tuned because we've got some drops for everybody.
Yeah.
And there's also some Easter eggs, as everybody knows. In the background, you know what I'm saying?
Till next week.
You guys already know.
Layout tomorrow.
The layout.
Can't wait to fast.
Can't wait to ask Alex about the layout.
It'll be fast. Even a little kind of slow. One of the sides.
Dots, you know what's not gonna be fast? The guns at 10.5. I can't wait. I need to double my dose of the peptides.
Maybe it'll be like Atlantic City again with that big fortress. It's just bunker corner.
Yeah, I don't want to go in there.
No.